Hello, welcome to Hang Out. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jonas.
And this is Jerry. And today we're talking about The Social Network. This is my new thing. I think I just want to very quickly talk about the fact that I'm starting to feel the pains of not getting my hair cut in quarantine.
The pains.
It's just at a weird length. Like, these bits are too long. It doesn't all quite tie up right.
It doesn't all quite tie
It's
up.
not quite there.
It's not. Yeah, but it's always. I mean, you always get that middle bit between short and long.
But usually I keep
awkward.
it long. But just before quarantine, I made the choice to go short. And
Which was lovely.
It was very nice. You can go back to our old videos. It looks great.
Yes.
But
go back to all the videos to see the transformation of Jonas and Josh and Jonas.
There's that
and
weird
Jerry.
period where we decided to grow beards together, then you cheated, and
Well,
I looked ridiculous.
obviously not.
Yeah, but you trimmed it. Anyway, on to The Social Network. We watched this a
Exactly.
couple days ago. If you haven't seen it, I would strongly recommend watching it. I think it's a really, really good film. Strongly recommend. Don't finish me. Right. Good film. Go
No, it
away,
is a good
watch it.
film.
It is on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix or Prime. I'm pretty sure Netflix.
Yeah.
But we had the DVD anyway, so that's cool. But yeah, so go away, watch it, and come back once
If
you've
you
seen
haven't
it.
seen
And if
it,
you're
I
not
mean-
gonna watch it anyway, you can now just listen to us.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
I know it's not a new movie, so I think a lot of people might have actually seen it already.
I hope so. I think it's incredible.
I mean,
I really enjoy this film.
that's interesting. I don't think it's incredible. I mean, it does what it does, and pretty well. I don't think it's an incredible film.
I don't know. Okay, so for me, for a film that is just people talking the entire movie,
Yeah.
I think it keeps the pace really well. The dialogue is snappy throughout, but not in like a
Uh-huh.
snappy comedy way, which is quite easy to write dialogue that way. But it's got like a rhythm to it, you know. It just keeps everything flowing, which I think is really nice. There's parts of the film I'd get rid of, sure, but there I know people really like those bits. So
I mean, I can definitely get on board with that. With like a film of that kind, of that type,
Yeah.
where it's just like a lot of discussions like in the lawsuit, whatever, and then basically just flashbacks to what had actually happened. It's very, very based on dialogue rather than action.
Yeah.
And that can be super boring. So they do that well, but I still think like it's not the most engaging kind of film
See,
kind of thing.
I think again it takes us back to our review of Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford,
Sure.
in that it's like the best film in that genre.
Yes, and I can agree with that.
So I think films that are just people talking with the pacing breakups not being action. So like even if you look at something like Goodfellas,
Yeah.
the way that kind of breaks up the pacing between people talking is by having people get whacked. You know,
Yeah.
people get shot in between.
Mm-hmm.
And while it's not action, it's like, oh, something big has happened.
Mm-hmm.
But for a film that is like, this is people talking in boardrooms for a lot of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
I think it does it really well. And I think better than any other just
Yeah,
talking
I
film
think-
that I've seen.
I think it's easy to tell because it is a good movie. Like if it didn't do these things well, it would be a hideously boring movie. I think.
Yeah. I think
So, like,
the
the
thing
fact
I
that
can
it
compare it to is Vice. Because I don't think you've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
But it's a lot of boardrooms and just talking in certain locations, and you're like,
This
and
is
there's so
super
much
interesting.
potential.
Historically, very interesting.
Yeah, but it's just not
Uh-huh.
there. Like, it's
Yeah.
a shame because I mean Christian Bale's performance in that is exceptional, but
Uh-huh.
that's kind of it. And you're
Uh-huh.
like, it's just missing something.
Yeah.
But I think Social Network does a really good job of. There's not so many characters. Like everyone is very distinct,
Yeah.
and also quite, like, not relatable, but like the characters. Like I mean, for us starting a business together.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you can spot attributes. Obviously, they're exaggerated.
Slightly, I think they're still trying to be quite
fairly accurate.
True.
But there's a
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking
Oh,
about,
my
it's the
word,
story
yeah.
of Facebook, how it was created, and how within the first year or so, like it started off with huge issues internally, just
Yeah.
like Mark Zuckerberg being accused of stealing the idea, so intellectual
property theft.
property theft, and then somehow scamming his best friend out of the company.
Yep.
But
But this is
that's
the
the
thing,
question.
like-
That's the question of like that was
I just think they're very like, you understand the guy that's paying for it all wants to make money, and
yeah. I mean, he's the CFO, so his objective. I think that's very cool because like they are so different from each other.
Yeah.
So it is very nice to get the interplay between someone like Jesse Eisenberg portraying Mark Zuckerberg is like, I think that's brilliant. I think it's the best I've seen him.
Jesse
Like,
Eisenberg.
Yeah, it just fits
Yeah.
so well to the way he acts.
I think this was the first film where he like committed to playing an asshole,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since then he's played the same character.
Yeah, in a way.
Because
Well-
there's a few films I've seen before that where he's just like have you seen Adventureland?
No.
Okay, in that he's just like an awkward teen. Sure, a little bit
Yeah,
asocial,
I mean,
but
he's always awkward.
yeah, but like more awkward in like the Michael Cera kind of way, rather
Uh-huh.
than like
Yeah, no, I've recently, was it last year, I've seen a film where he's like, he takes on self-defense classes. I think it's called The Art of Self-Defense.
okay.
And he's not an asshole in that, but he's also just like awkward and shy, and then he tries to like create this new identity through the self-defense classes, like he wants to become a stronger man or whatever. And it's different, but it's still like, it's so Jesse Eisenberg.
I think in terms of performances,
Mm-hmm.
props to Justin Timberlake.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's really, really good in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think especially for like musicians turned actors, it's very easy just to see them as the musician.
Mm.
Like Battleship, you're like, oh, it's Rihanna, it's the one with Rihanna.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I don't care who she's playing, it's Rihanna.
Yeah.
But I always just kind of, I think his acting's good enough that you kind of forget, and that's him. Compared to like In Time, where the whole time I'm like, oh, cool, he got Justin Timberlake in this movie.
Yeah.
No,
I think it also fits. Like, I could totally see how he could be a very successful musician and still be this character.
Be
like
Sean
it's,
Parker,
it still works. I think that's why it's like it's a good enough casting for sure.
Yeah.
And I think also Andrew Garfield just I don't know, the way he acts always seems slightly dramatic.
Yeah.
You know, he has these like sad puppy eyes. You know, that I get that vibe, but it works so well with this absolutely stone cold, callous Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Just to have him completely fall apart and get nothing whatsoever from his best friend, and I think that works.
Yeah.
It works really, really well.
No, I think it's good.
It
And in
definitely
terms
has
of like characters that you know in real life, like that Sean Parker type, where like he doesn't have anything tangible to bring, but just that idea, like drop the in Facebook and little things like that, and just hype and the connections. You're like, yeah, no, this is someone that you could imagine kind of sneaks their way into a large company with little things like that and overvalues themselves massively.
I think they do that so subtly in like their first talk in the restaurant. You can really tell like Sean Parker picks up on the dynamic between the two, reads Mark Zuckerberg really, really well, and knows where to wedge himself in. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to then think about how accurate these things are, because they must be.
So the only
in
thing
the
that
transcripts of
I'm aware of is the relationship at the start, which is a really good scene of Mark Zuckerberg breaking up with his girlfriend, or the girlfriend breaking up with him.
Yes.
And that kind of becomes the jumping off point.
Mm-hmm.
That never happened.
Okay.
He never had a girlfriend. She didn't break up with him. There was no
Forever Alone
spark there. But apart from that, so the film felt, the directors have talked about, David Fincher, they said like we needed something to be that kind of trigger just to get a movie started.
Yes.
Rather than, oh, I've got an idea. So apart from that, the film's pretty much spot on. Obviously, since the film ends with, it tells you how much the Winklevi got.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell you how much Andrew Garfield's character got.
Yeah.
But it has since been released publicly.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's about 7 to 8 billion. That's 7 to 8. Somewhere between those two. Not 78.
Wow! I don't think anyone lost. But
this is why I think it's quite interesting, because I feel like there's an element of... So I think also...
Yes.
I think it's very ironic that Facebook, for all intents and purposes, is dead because of its over-advertising.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, like, I think it's very, very annoying. I don't use it. Most people have gone to Instagram, which, ironically, is still owned by Facebook.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, keeping a platform cool, they messed it up. And I can't believe, especially this one came out in 2011, they should have watched it and gone, you know what? That's a good point. Let's not over-advertise.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in terms of, like, predicting the level of success that it got, it's also quite amazing.
That is true. I don't know. It's crazy to think that, I mean, platforms like Facebook, similar to Facebook, existed for sure. There were
MySpace, Friendster, Bebo.
Yeah. I mean, plenty of them existed, but that Facebook did something different?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what exactly.
But I think that was a really loud crack. Sorry if that picked up.
Incredible.
So I think in terms of, obviously, us coming from filmmakers that run our own company together, so there is a bit where Mark Zuckerberg he says that he's created this app that finds, like, your music taste and suggests you songs similar, which of course is a very similar algorithm to what iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, what they all use now to kind of recommend you stuff. And it said, like, Microsoft offered to buy it, but he uploaded it for free.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the falling out point of the film is that so Andrew Garfield pays for everything, so he gives them $1,000 at the start, which is fine, and then $18,000 to go to California. And when
19 in total,
but when Mark starts kind of messing around in California and ignoring Andrew's character, he freezes the account, and that's like game over. But it does just show, while it's nice to be charitable, maybe selling it to Microsoft and having a little bit of your own funds in your company isn't such a bad thing. Like, having all your eggs in one basket and also pissing off your best friend who's paying for everything is like... And I think, like, while you could say... So I think, well, Mark Zuckerberg definitely in this film, I'm pretty sure in real life too, is Aspergeric. But there is points where he is just, like, not caring. So when they're in the club and Sean Parker is saying, like, he shouldn't be doing his internship. And Mark's like, no, it's ridiculous. But we find out that he actually quit his internship on the first day and did tell Mark that, and it just went straight over. You're like, okay, that's not like not being able to interact socially. That's just not caring about what your friend's doing. He's like, I am trying to find advertisers for us. I'm trying to get us an investment. Something.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I don't really understand, because if they had that kind of, like, discussion, it would be like, okay, you are looking for advertisements, I don't know, something in New York, but we are looking for just normal funding in LA, so why don't you come over for a week? I don't know, we scheduled all the meetings, then come over. So, like, there is no reason for them to have such a huge falling out. And so I think that is a bit crazy, and that's why it's so sad in a way for Andrew Garfield's character, because, like, he didn't do... There was no reason. No.
I mean, imagine if we started a film and I was like, there's $19,000. Go play. Like, it's mad. And this whole thing of, like, Mark Zuckerberg, and it's not like a horrendous amount of money. I presume Microsoft offered to pay more than that.
Yeah.
You'd guess, otherwise, Microsoft, what are you doing? But, like, just to have that little bit of float, I think it's a real shame what happened. Obviously, no one lost, but for Mark Zuckerberg not to be money motivated at that point, And then to be in all these lawsuits where, like, this was your best friend is suing you, I would just sell out of court and not have this whole thing and be like, look, I'm really sorry, yeah. Whereas he ends up being kind of like, oh, you made a bad business deal with your own company.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not about money. I mean, this guy's a billionaire.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, even at that point.
At that point, he was already the world's youngest billionaire.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I do wonder what percentage of his wealth went to Andrew Garfield's character. Like, at the time, because obviously,
I know his character.
Do you know it?
Tony, no.
Social. No.
That's so bad.
Eduardo Saverin.
Eduardo.
But yeah, because I know obviously Mark Zuckerberg. I can just Google it now.
You can just Google it now.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, no, I mean,
because at the moment he's worth 89 billion. But I wonder what percent. So obviously, like 8 billion isn't a large hit, but I wonder how much he was worth in 2011. I don't know.
Maybe we can search that as well.
Maybe we can.
2011.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh, so he did, because that's
13.5.
13.5. So Eduardo Saverin does say he's gonna come back for everything.
Wow.
Which, to be fair, that's a
half.
Good chunk. Yeah. So yeah, he did get half of the company.
Honestly, though,
fair.
To be like
totally fair.
To be like you're getting half of my net worth. I still have 7 to 8 billion left. Is like, that's very comfortable.
Yes, and also you still own the company, so you're gonna be making lots and lots.
Keep making money.
But
that's actually more than Eduardo had actually had
so
ever.
He had 30%.
Yeah. He had, like, I think 34 at the most.
Yeah, when they turned it into shares.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he maybe made, well, not continuously, but at that point in time, he kind of made more.
I think.
Oh,
I shouldn't be googling this now. No, wait.
What?
It was the Winkle. Ah, that's what it was. Yeah. So the Winklevi.
Yeah.
Invested all of the money they got.
Oh, in Bitcoin, wasn't it?
Yeah, in Bitcoin, and became some of the richest Bitcoin billionaires. Which I think is incredible. Like, good for them, because they didn't get a huge amount. Because I admittedly, at least as far as the film goes, I don't think they had much of a case.
No, they didn't.
I think all it comes down to is Mark Zuckerberg's a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
And didn't make their company for them because he was busy on his own project.
Yeah.
And it comes off a little like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I mean, he didn't steal. So I think the big thing is, like, he didn't steal any of their coding to make the website, but, like, the ideas is very
pretty
close.
Similar, and also to be like, yeah, I'll do this for you, and then just not doing it is kind of crap as well when you're working on a very similar product.
Also, it's always this is good to know and to learn. Like, always get a contract.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, as soon as you have a business, make business.
And also, like, when he gets a cease and assist, and Mark Zuckerberg doesn't tell Eduardo. And you're like, dude, he's like, well, this is for me. And you're like, but it's for your company.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But no, yeah, so they invested all of their millions that they got in Bitcoin, like way early, like 2009, 2010, and made a fortune.
I mean, yeah.
So no one really lost in this film.
Financially.
Yeah, even like Sean Parker, who got himself kind of kicked out the company after the cocaine incident, still owns a large chunk. Like, you just sell his shares whenever he's needing a top up.
Yeah.
Like,
here, 0.01%, and I still make $1 million.
But no, going back to the actual film.
Yeah.
I think David Fincher is really, really good. He always does the thing where the camera follows the people.
Oh, yeah.
Where, so, like, if a person stands up, the camera just kind of follows them the whole way.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those subconscious things that...
It's not noticeable.
It's not noticeable, but it just makes the film flow really well. It's quite a natural...
Yeah.
Natural rhythm.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. But I think it has to be, like... And by now, they are very, very good at doing that, because it just has to be timed. Perfectly right.
I think they do all of their like rehearsals with a camera crew not recording.
That makes
sense.
sense.
Like, even like way back in early stages, they'll practice everything.
That makes sense.
I think the music's good. It's minimalist, but the
Yeah.
film's quite minimalist as well.
Yeah.
Just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's nice.
No, I think it's also, in a way, a very good portrayal of just that time of, like, college, university, end of university, and, like, going out to do something, that spirit of, like, we're here to build something, change the world, and stuff, and I think that's also a nice vibe to have in a film. But also, because it's not generic, it's not college film,
No, yeah,
but
yeah.
you still have that in there, and in a good and honest way.
I do like when they interact with the head of the university, and he's like, I just don't care. I feel like, university
I love that.
student.
You made this contract with the university, not with each other.
Yeah, you're like, That's actually something we've not talked about, the Winkle guy.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Army Hammer times 2
I'm
thing.
not sure.
So,
They did.
the way it's done,
Uh-huh.
it depends on the shot. There's 2 people
Yes.
playing.
Yes.
For the ones where it is both of them,
Uh-huh.
most of the shots they've CG'd his head
face,
over.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't. And you can tell if you're really looking, but like in the rowing ones, they just didn't bother.
Uh-huh.
So it's just a very, very, very similar lookalike. And you're like, really? Because
Yeah.
obviously the CG thing, that was really early for them to do that. Like,
Yeah.
that tech hadn't really been done before.
Mm-hmm.
And also, is expensive.
Yeah.
So if you're like, okay, if the ones like when they're talking to the university president and they're sitting like this,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the ones, like when people are congratulating them on the rowing and they're both standing and one's a little bit off, yeah, they just use a different actor.
No, it's really cool. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
But I think he did a good performance. I like Army Hammer. I think he's a good actor.
I really like that scene because that is super quippy as well.
Yeah.
Because, like, one of the... they both look exactly like, because they are...
The same person.
They are the same face, but... like, such different characters, and I love that. It's like the twins that are completely different. Like, oh no, we shouldn't do this because it's not honorable or whatever, and the other one's like, no, screw it, I want my money. It's hilarious. No, I mean that's why I do like the film a lot.
Yeah,
but it's I don't know. It's a strange kind of film that is so outside of genres, I think.
I say drama.
Yeah,
but that's a very large genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, it's a drama.
That's it. There's dramatic things happening.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's why I think it's a weird place for a film to be.
I think it's very easy to watch.
I
don't know, like it's not.
Yeah.
I think everything that is done, it does very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only way to improve the film would be to do more, but I actually think that would kind of take away from what it is.
Because then you get into hyper. Like you would start making stuff up, and I don't think that's good.
And I also think, like, in terms of there's obviously like there's subject matter, but in terms of legal battles can be quite complicated.
Yeah.
So you compare it to something like The Big Short,
mm-hmm.
where it has to like chunk out huge portions of the film just to explain what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially like I watched that film twice, and on second viewing I was like, I know, I get it, and he gets the whole
Jenga tower
out. I'm like, yeah, I do know, and they explain it multiple times just to make sure that everyone's on the same page. And every time you're like, skip. Whereas this is like, people understand how a courtroom where someone's suing someone, it doesn't need to be exactly by the book because it would just be horrendously boring and complicated. So it's like we can just have them having a conversation across the table, like that's fine.
Yeah, no, it's good that they don't have to discuss like very intricate things. I think,
and I think the
quite
time that they do is when like Eduardo Saverin has to sign the papers, which is signing his own death warrant, as he says. But they're like, they try to explain it, and he's like, oh no, you get more shares because the company's gone public, he needs some to liquidate. It's passed off. If you don't catch it or don't understand, it doesn't really matter. But if you do know what he's talking about, you go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because all you need to know is he has this much percent share,
Yeah.
and then later on he has
Less.
way less. And like how that happens, you don't have to concern yourself with how that works legally,
if you don't
or
care,
if, like in terms of stock market or whatever. But just that information by itself is enough to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Very well done.
No, and that's why you don't get any boring scenes.
No, I don't think there's anything.
That would be probably the most boring that film could.
Yeah, if they wanted to do it, that would definitely be a low point, but they just skip past it.
Yeah, and I also like that they don't go like crazy with college parties or when they're in Los Angeles, like you do see
No,
them.
you're like, you understand they're having fun, but the rest of the time it's just in the background.
Yeah.
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 Good.
It's just enough.
Just
Good,
right.
Good amount. Good amount.
Good amount. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. That's it.
Strong recommend. Go away and watch it. I do have something I know. Do you know how many Oscars this film was nominated for?
4.
Double it.
8.
8. And do you know how many it won?
0.
3.
I was almost there.
You were not. I have
I was super close. I don't know what you're talking about.
accolades. So, it got 8 nominations for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Cinematography, Director, Film Editing, Score, Sound Mixing, and Screenplay. It won it for the score, so I was right about the music.
Whoa.
It won it for the screenplay and for the editing. I think all of them are fairly fair.
I would definitely have to watch it again and try. No, because obviously
That's 2 films in a row that you've completely ignored the music in.
No, but stuff like editing, I think like obviously most of the time you want to have some kind of editing that is invisible. That's what most editing is trying to do, is like make it as natural to the eye, so you're like, oh, there was a cut, is something you don't want to happen. And so like I would have to go back and try and look for that and try and see how much I appreciate the skill.
Yeah, I was just saying, so the film was written by Aaron Sorkin, who is well known for his musical dialogue.
Oh.
So his sentences have far more syllables in them than most other writers.
Whoa.
So they will tend to be short, long, short, long, short, long.
Oh, so he does write in verse, basically.
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Oh, there's a phrase.
Iambic pentameter. So he's like all Shakespeare on that.
It is, but yeah, he copies Shakespeare, but there's an actual word for the beginning of T. The word has lost me. You can go away and Google it and then write it down in the comments and tell me.
Okay.
But he writes in something.
Chaos, I know the German word.
Oh, great. What's that translate to?
Right. Know.
I have 1 second.
Is that the meter he writes in?
Meter!
That
Yes.
doesn't start with T.
No, but there's a type of meter. Hey, look, there's an article about it. Oh my word.
Oh. That was the first scene
Okay,
of the
well,
social network.
You can tell us what type of meter he writes in.
Yeah.
But no, he does write in meter.
Uh-huh.
So it's very rhythmic. It flows very, very well.
Interesting. I just said it's dangerous because me as an actor is like I more often than not will want the liberty to like change it and adapt it to how I as the character would say it. But sure, if that's a thing,
they're like, no, you have to read it exactly how they're written.
Then
it's
that can also
perfect.
be that's absolutely possible and can be done.
Yeah. But no, it makes sense. There's a lot of the more dramatic lines in the film stand out very well.
Oh, I mean, especially with Jesse Eisenberg, the way he just like machine guns some of the lines is like incredible. It's like
yeah,
and you're like so much work.
Yeah,
so many words. Yeah,
it's
interesting.
Yeah, it's very good.
Interesting.
Very good. So
I'm gonna have to check that out.
We can happily watch it again if you want.
No, his style of screenwriting.
Yeah, no, so he's done a few films and they all tend to have the very, very similar style.
I see.
But obviously you combine that with someone like Jesse Eisenberg, who is very monotoned, and talking very quickly. It's punchy.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
Yep.
recommend.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
go
sorry
watch
for
it.
my Googling. I couldn't help myself. You know, we want to
That's-
inform you.
Exactly. That's what we're here for.
Yes. We don't really have another film to watch. So if you've got any suggestions, let us know down below. Not that you ever do, it makes me very sad.
We do get some personal ones.
Every now and then we get wee text, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, comment away. Let us know
Yeah.
what should we watch. If it's on Netflix or Prime, that really saves us a lot of hassle.
That's true.
Maybe
Or send us a DVD. I mean,
Yeah, I think our address is somewhere on the internet.
they can write us and we can then get in touch.
Yeah, our email address is on our YouTube page.
Exactly.
Wow. Like,
Share.
subscribe.
Click the bell icon.
Wow. Pro YouTubers.
Pro YouTubers.
All right.
Go pro.
We will
go
see
home.
you tomorrow. Bye. Everything for you. Did you close the window?
It's on the latch.
Do you get out my eyes every time?
Yeah.